Well, howdy folks, and welcome back to the channel where it really is all about racing. I want to reach out and thank the 200 or so new subscribers to the channel, largely due to my coverage of the Roar before the 24 hours of Daytona. It was really good. If you guys have not checked out that coverage, please do. There's a lot of cool things I reviewed and some neat views at the race cars at that particular race. Anyhow, for the purpose of this video, we're going to go back to 2019 with an Aston Martin Red Bull Racing RB15, the winner of the Austrian Grand Prix in 2019 with Max Verstappen, his first win of that season. This is a 143 scale model, packaged in the typical wooden base. In this case, it is gray. Has an acrylic jewel cover, open-ended on both sides, call it the slip case. It is Red Bull themed all the way around, and the bottom of it has all the typical Spark licensing information that you would expect. Now, the Red Bull Racing RB15 was designed and constructed by Red Bull Racing under Adrian Newey's direction to compete in the 2019 FIA Formula One Championship. As far as technical specification, a lot of new stuff here. The chassis was carbon epoxy composite structure, suspension, aluminum alloy uprights, and carbon fiber composite double wishbones, and it is really nicely done in this particular model. The engine, a first for Red Bull at this time, was a Honda RB619H 1.6-liter turbocharged direct injection V6. The transmission was not an X-Track, but a Red Bull Technology 8-speed plus 1 reverse, sequential semi-automatic paddle shift. The battery was Honda lithium-ion, and the brakes were Brembo carbon discs and Brembo 6-piston calipers and pads, and are really nicely done on this model. In 2019, the RB15 was driven by Max Verstappen to victory at the Austrian Grand Prix mid-season. It was the first Honda-powered car to achieve victory since 2006. Now, as far as specifics to this car directly, the shape of the nose, the wings, the side pod, and engine covers had been altered due to regulations. However, in 2019, the car's rear had to be re-altered to accommodate the new regulations. There were also changes in the cooling system, wing design, and barge boards to maximize chassis performance. Max will win 3 races in 2019, a season dominated by Mercedes with Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Now, this particular car is, I just don't know how to say it. I'm a Spark snob. It is what you would expect from Spark. Fantastically well done. Now, because of the design of the nose and the fact that it all relies on these 2 points where the wing is attached to the front end, you have the typical foam inserts that you get with a lot of these cars to prevent damage in shipping, and thank God I had none with this car. Something that I'm relieved to see. And folks, I never know what's damaged until I actually take them out of the box, which I do for these reviews. Otherwise, like you saw in my previous video, they are stored for review and for display purposes afterwards. This car is exceptionally well done. I think the wheels are really sharp, and something we never talk about are the tires, which they really did a very good job with, and they always do. You can clearly see the calipers and the rotors in there. As far as aerials, I think they really do a nice job, particularly with Red Bull, as it's very tricky to have this pitot tube with one aerial smack dab in the middle of it. And a lot of times those are damaged during shipping. You also have 2 other aerials on the car. The barge boards are really coolly done, and if you take a close look at them, they're really quite sharp. The floor is absolutely massive. And we'll take a look at that. You can see there. Take a look at the back of the car. Well, it's absolutely gorgeous. Let's get in focus here. The exhaust is just absolutely massive. Look at all the carbon fiber trim around it. The way that the rear wing is done is really nice. I do like the Aston Martin on there with that logo. I think that was always a sharp part of these cars until Aston Martin had their own team, which they do now, thanks to Mr. Stroll. And you take a look at the other side of it. Everything you would expect. The rear wheels, I think, are really nicely done, massively deep. They do have wheel markings in there, which is something you don't see in 143 scale cars, but you can expect that from Spark. Now, if we take a look at the cockpit, this is very nicely done. I think really exceptional. And one thing I really like about F1 cars that I miss in sports cars, and I wish you would sometime have, is a driver figure in there. This was very nicely done. I think Max Verstappen has some of the coolest helmets that you'll see of anybody in Formula One, and is well done and represented with this car here. Folks, this is an exceptional model. It is somewhat hard to find these days due to its age, but you check eBay, you never know. You can get a good little, if you just look hard enough, if you really want. I thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.